Hello, it's Maryon Stewart. I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late today. I had a technical hitch trying to make the film with my computer, but it wasn't playing. I'm talking about nutritional deficiencies today and how they affect us at the time of the menopause, because very often women experience symptoms leading up to the menopause. It's called the perimenopause, and the symptoms can last for about 5 years. And what tends to happen is that if you've had PMS in your earlier life, the PMS symptoms get worse as you get older, and instead of lasting for just a few days, they end up lasting for more and more days until it feels like every day is a PMS day, which is obviously not good. Now, what tends to happen as you get to the perimenopause is that the nutrient levels in your body become to be in a lower range. And we found from the research that we did earlier on at the Natural Health Advisory Service and the Women's Nutritional Advisory Service before that, that we looked at groups of women. In fact, we did 5 separate studies, and we found that between 50 to 80% of the women had low magnesium stores, and other nutrients like essential fatty acids, B vitamins, iron, zinc, calcium were often in short supply too. And those nutrients are really important for so many things in the body. So, for example, magnesium and B vitamins are necessary for normal brain chemistry. And what happens in your body when you've got normal brain chemistry is that your brain sends out messages during your cycle, and the right things happen. So you have a smooth transition from one cycle to another. But if your brain chemistry isn't working properly because your nutrient levels are low, then that affects you and you can experience symptoms. So the research shows that if you have low levels of B vitamins, for example, magnesium, and essential fatty acids, you can actually change the color of the lenses through which you see the world. So instead of getting up in the morning and feeling perky and happy and embracing what's going to go on in your day, you wake up in the morning feeling heavy as lead, feeling that you can't really face another day and you'd rather put the covers back over your head. I mean, it can be that different. So for years and years, we've seen patients who've been really awfully depressed, even suicidal, feeling terrible for those couple of weeks before their periods. And then when we correct their nutritional deficiencies and we teach them how to meet their needs, those symptoms go away within a matter of months. So as you go forward into, you age a bit more and you get into the perimenopause, you're using up more of the nutrients, you're using up your supply of things. So for example, with chromium, which is a trace mineral, you're only born with about the 16th of an ounce, and it gets less as you get older. And chromium, magnesium, and B vitamins are necessary for normal blood glucose control. So if you get cravings and you can't help yourself and you're tucking into several chocolate bars a day, you may want to check out and think about your levels of chromium, magnesium, and B vitamins, because when you correct those, then the cravings diminish. So at the perimenopause, women are taken by surprise very often because they don't expect to have symptoms. They've heard of the menopause, but they don't really understand that things may go completely sideways when they're in their perimenopause. So what's happening in the body at that time is that the hormone levels, the estrogen levels, are falling. They haven't fallen completely, and they come and go because very often during the perimenopause you're having periods still. Maybe not regular periods, but you're still having some periods. So when you have that cycle, if you've been having some hot flushes and you've had lots more perimenopause symptoms, when you have a cycle, sometimes it clears things and things seem like they're normalizing again. I know I noticed that myself, and I noticed it with lots of patients, that I thought I was okay again and stopped taking the supplements or stopped doing the good things I was doing because I thought I didn't need to, and then lo and behold the symptoms come back again. So you're on a bit of a roller coaster during the perimenopause. But if you learn to meet your needs, if you put into your body what time and nature has taken out in terms of nutrients, so you eat a diet that's rich in all those important nutrients. In all of my books at the back I've got a nutritional content of food lists, and in fact I'll post that into the group I'll try and get a PDF of it so I can post it into the group so you can have a look and see which nutrients you should be focusing on. Which foods do you like that you can eat more of that will give you more of those nutrients? And maybe you may need to take some supplements as well. As you go through the different life stages, sometimes you do, but we always suggest that you take scientifically based supplements. That's really important because you're challenged at the perimenopause. You've got the low levels of important nutrients and you've also got the falling levels of estrogen. Now, studies around the world have shown that very often people do have low levels. It's not just the studies we've done. And the sad thing is we found in our studies that magnesium was the most common deficiency amongst women. It's necessary for smooth muscle control, so that's the uterus and the gut and all the other smooth muscles in your body. And it's necessary for normal brain chemistry. And yet, when you go to see your doctor, there is no magnesium available on prescription. So it's a really tricky situation, and women are left to fend for themselves, which is, from my perspective, really not optimum, and things should be completely different. Fact is, they're not, which is why I've set up the Midlife Switch group, because I want to make sure that women get adequate information at this time of their lives, because you can be in such good shape. If you know how to meet your needs, you can feel better than you've ever felt before. But you've got to make time for yourself. You've got to know how to do it. And it's best to have the right tools so that you can do it properly without it being hit and miss. Because a lot of the supplements that you find in the high street and on the internet, they are not standardized. They don't have necessarily what they say they've got in them. And I know that from studies that have been done, independent analysis. So, for example, with isoflavone supplements, I remember there was one company who came to us to ask us to promote their supplement, and they said it had 39 milligrams of isoflavones in it. And I asked for the research studies, and actually, when they failed to produce them, I asked some researchers whether they knew anything about it, and they just finished doing a study on, I think, 40 supplements and that were isoflavone rich, and they found that only 2 of them in the 40 samples they had contained what they said they had. And this particular supplement, which was supposedly contained 39 milligrams of isoflavones, actually only contained 1 milligram. So people were spending money and actually wasting their money with false expectations. So one of the things we're going to be looking at over time as we go through the new book, I'm going to be talking about supplements, different clinical trials, and inviting experts to come and talk about the research that's been done, so that if you're going to spend money on investing in yourself at this particular life stage, you know you're going to do it with something that stands a good chance of working. So as far as nutritional deficiencies are concerned, I think the general message is have a look at the article I posted, the chapter I posted the other day, which is called Are You in Good Nutritional Shape? And you can look at the skin signs, for example. Skin, hair and nails tell us a lot, but we're just not tuned into body speak. We don't know what it means if you've got red patches at the side of your nose, or cracking in your nails, or your hair is dry, or you've got white spots, or dry skin, or oily skin, or whatever it is, but it actually all means something. So you can have a look at that chapter and get to know a little bit more about your body. And then I will post up the nutritional content of food lists as soon as I can, so that you can have a look at that as well. And I really would like it if you could send in questions, and so that I can answer them for you. And hopefully we will, as time goes on, I'm just still grappling with the technology, but I'm getting there. And hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, I'll be able to interview other people and start to make it even more meaningful for you. So if you're suffering, please understand that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you don't need to go on suffering. It is really important that you learn to meet your needs and make time for yourself at this really important life stage. And also, one of the things I found over the years is that women feel that they're suffering all by themselves and they're so isolated, when you can already see from the members of this group that that's not the case, and that people are suffering thinking that they're alone, but they're not. So one of the benefits of the group hopefully will be to bring people together so that they can actually support each other. So I'm going to shut up and go now, and I'll be back again soon. And please send in your questions. Please like the films, subscribe to the films, and then you'll know when they're coming. and also like the pages, leave your comments, and that will help us to get the message out on Facebook to other women so that we can make this into a really meaningful place where people can come and get quality information that will really be life-changing. So hopefully you have a good weekend and that I've given you a bit of food for thought. Bye for now.